You are now listening to the Battle Rap Arena Show with your hosts, URL's own Norbes and JesseRican.
Welcome to URL's Battle Rap Arena, man. What's going on with this February 5th card, man? Night of main events.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy. You know, we got something special for the fans. Special VIP night. I mean, we're doing a special shoot. That's why everything's limited. So, you know.
Alright, we're going to get more into it later tonight for the first time ever. We're doing the change of pace here on URL's Battle Rap Arena. 347-215-6721, 347-215-6721. Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, 1 a.m. Eastern.
Oh,
one, what's good, man?
What's happening with you, player?
What's going on, man?
What's happening, man? You know, just out here maintaining, grinding, keeping a real fresh coast, west side in it, you know. Dipping low, sitting on big spokes, you know, letting them scrapers swing, keeping the candy painted.
Let's get into the interview tonight, man. Freaking, what's going on with Lushone?
You know what? Like, I like interviews because there's one thing that Grindtime and URL got in common, and that's we all into views. You feel me? So, man, just been keeping it real busy. It's been a really productive year for me. You know, I got a lot of things going on within and without the battle realm. Just a full-blown entrepreneur. Been doing a lot of things, working on music, working on new projects, into my DJing thing cracking off, and touring a lot. Just really posting up in some lavish ass pussy and just blowing some fine kush. It's been real nice.
Well, Norbes, you're on live with Lush. Any questions for Lush?
Lush, what's good, brother? How you doing?
My guy Norbes, what is good with you, player?
So, man, there's a lot, you know, a lot of the fans out there. There's a lot of misconceptions out there. What's been going on in 2011, and you know, they definitely want answers. So, you're the man.
Well, first, I want to say that, man, URL in 2011 was really, 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 really impressive, and I see no signs of the momentum slowing down for the URL movement. Is really like putting out just a lot of quality battles. I'd like to speak on my favorite battle from URL last year. I think I want to say not necessarily my favorite URL battle, but my favorite performance in the URL battle was by Calico. I love the Map Hop. Map Hop is one of my favorites. So to see Calico, you know, go head to head with him and arguably even, you know, smash that battle in a lot of ways. That to me was real exciting to see his rise, you know, as a new talent. And I'm really excited about what's cracking with the URL right now, I must say.
No, and I appreciate that. Now, you know, we're going to keep growing, keep doing what we're doing now. You know, what I want to know is, what's up right now with you guys in Grindtime on the West Coast? Like, I know it's like this because a lot of rumors going around and stuff going on. Are you still the president of Grindtime West Coast? And what do we have to look forward to in terms of that?
Well, Grindtime West Coast, I was the general manager from 2008 through 2010. I became one of the CEOs of Grindtime in mid-2009. So for about a year, I was doing kind of two jobs, not only overseeing the entire company and working on the behind-the-scenes stuff, but getting things visibly organized for specifically the West Coast. Now, at a certain time, I wanted to step away so I could focus on matters more for the general direction of Grindtime. But when I attempted to do that, it was pretty much hard because I wasn't able to find a real suitable person to turn the coast over to. So the West Coast has been, as far as Grindtime, has been very, very neglected for a while. So now what I pretty much did a few months ago was step back into the role of directly organizing the West despite my CEO position, because I really want to help build the West back to a respectable place as to where I can then step away and move on. But I feel like right now is a big time of revision and rebuilding, so that's what I'm doing, nurturing the local talent. I feel like a lot of, we started out building our own talent, then we started relying on the talent from other places and other divisions, and now it's like, all right, I want to try to foster and nurture what we already have. Fox and the Jungle are doing a great job. That's my good-ass homie, so I'm going to always be rocking with them as well. So the West is always going to be active, but people miss what Grindtime Fresh Coast brought to the table, and I'm trying to bring that back.
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, like I said, you guys were definitely rocking and shaking over there, and there's been a lot of, smoke out there, so people are trying to decide through smoke and see what's real and what's not. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people thought that you went over to King of the Dot, and that was another question I have for you.
Yes, and I fuck with King of the Dot real heavy. My big concern of the moment is just unifying the entire West Coast once again the way we had it before, and whether that's under the Grindtime banner or under King of the Dot or whatever banner remains to be seen. From right now, my primary focus is just keeping it West and organizing that whole aspect of it. But I fuck with King of the Dot heavy. I'm going back out there next week. Be hosting all those battles. Shout out to Cortez and Hollow Hand and Pat Stay and Thesaurus and all the dope MCs battling there. So I'm really, and Passwords and Skelly obviously. So I fuck with King of the Dot real heavy, and will continue to do so. Now,
you're saying that you're going to start bringing up some of the more, you're trying to build up again the West Coast, regardless of the banner, whether it be King of the Dot or Grindtime. Now, when you say something like that, it kind of confuses me, and it might confuse the listener. So are you totally out of Grindtime, or
No.
That's kind of.
No, I understand how that could lead to some confusion. Like I said before, my primary focus is keeping the West Coast unified and all the MCs and our scene vibrant. Now, I definitely want to continue to present opportunities to help my homies from out here travel and get to more places. And since King of the Dot is such a great battle platform, I will continue to work with them and to help facilitate that. But Grindtime is where I started at, and I'm a loyal motherfucker and will continue to rock with Grindtime, despite a lot of the difficulties we faced.
Because I've noticed, a lot of the MCs that were on the West Coast, the Awkwards, the Disasters, I even heard Passwords possibly going to the King of the Dot. I've noticed, ever since, you guys kind of stepped off, or you stepped off, a lot of them have really been going to the West Coast, and obviously you're the reason for that. Now,
well, it's like the movie Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner. This fool kept hearing the voice in his head that said, "If you build it, they will come." You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's a stage out here, if there's the proper venue, if there's a proper shit to get it popping, people will come. But they haven't had that opportunity, like you said, since I stepped away, since other things were going on. So it's like these cats haven't even had that option. Of course, fools would love to battle in the West. Not only do we have talented MCs, but we put on really dope events, and we have great crowds and great fans, and there's just a huge demand. If you analyze the statistics, the West Coast is one of the biggest regions for battle rap right now, some of the most views.
Oh, definitely.
So, and that's across the board, Grindtime, URL, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, people need that, and that's why I'm stepping back in to provide that stage to help these MCs that deserve to get that shine, Now, it's a rebuilding process.
Oh, no, of course. You're saying you're basically rebuilding the West Coast in terms of Grindtime, and you're at the same time you're going to show love to King of the Dot, as well as bring some of the West Coast MCs to it. Now, in your rebuilding process on the West Coast, are you going to stick to the origins of what you and the Rec came up under? For instance, the Scribble Jam days and stuff like those type of MCs. How are you going to
that's really, to keep it funky, that's been my lane from the beginning, you know what I'm saying? I love the street battlers. I love the whole Smack URL style. and which Smack URL is pretty much made claim to, and now put stamp y'all's flag on that right there. So it's like, we definitely ain't, like, I personally am not trying to continue to step in that lane. Like, I want to, I mean, if there's MCs that I could help get onto the URL stage, like, I look at people like, oh, man, Disaster, all these, or like, you know, MCs are jumping ship and going to URL. Like, URL at the moment is the largest stage in the world, and any MC I could help get to that level, I look at that as an accomplishment for me. So, you know, dudes like Conceited, dudes like DNA, dudes that wound up going to URL and shining and becoming stars, like, I look at that as a personal accomplishment for myself.
I mean,
you know,
there's animosity towards you and those MCs that you just named, though?
I think you have to have a really strong listening comprehension problem to derive what I just said as that. It was actually quite the opposite. It was I said literally the exact opposite thing. No animosity. In fact, I'm proud that I was able to help those MCs get to a level and get to a stage like the URL.
Jesse, man, he just sunned you, dog. It was crazy.
Yeah, he did. But, I mean, on the goodbye speech, you kind of said, well, it wasn't a goodbye speech, but you said that you helped these MCs beat the competitors that beat us.
Right. Exactly.
You're losing me, Jesse, with that. I understand what you said.
Like, can we touch on your not goodbye video, that message for a little?
We can touch on whatever you want, especially if it's got a big booty and big titties.
You already know that.
What was your main point with the whole video and going at the MCs? Because, I mean, even Hollow the Dawn, I mean, I see you and him going back and forth on each other's Twitter.
I don't think Hollow was upset about that. I don't think that was what sparked my disagreements with Hollow. I think you know, Hollow's frustration with me was mainly stemming from comments I made on rapmusic.com when I said I made some comments about him and Disaster battle not happening, and then I made reference to LOM, and I made reference to how I thought that it was somewhat disloyal what he did. Now, since that is his brand and that's what he rocks with, he felt personally offended, like I was attacking his character. Even though that necessarily wasn't what I meant, I did mean what I said. So he got upset at the comments I made, and then we got into it. Hollow and I have known each other for 5 years, and I respect what he's done a lot, and I would like to work with him in the future on whatever level. I really don't have any problem with the kid, and I respect him as an artist and as a man. But at the same time, like, I feel the way I feel about that situation, and it is what it is. I just don't want to. I just harbor no negativity personally. Go ahead.
Oh, no, what exactly was the statement that was made that he felt? Because I'm not even familiar with the situation. I wasn't really paying attention at that time when you guys go back and forth. Well, why did you feel that?
And with all due respect to Hollow, without trying to reopen the Pandora's box and like reignite whatever funk was there initially, like I said a minute ago, I was basically saying that I was unhappy with the decision he made. Like, I felt like it wasn't exhibiting the principles of loyalty the way he moved as far as the not battling Disaster, because there was a phone call that Disaster and I and Hollow had previously where we had basically agreed to do the battle after the joint he did before Hitman Hollow. I forgot what it was now. And so I was just thought that the whole situation came off a little funny style. He asked me for an amount of money which was somewhat insurmountable, and obviously let's just call it the loaded Lux tactic, you know what I'm saying? Like the loaded Lux tactic of asking, or Mook tactic, actually, the murder Mook tactic of asking for an amount of money that people know are not feasible. And I felt like, considering the nature of Hollow and I's relationship, we've known each other for a long time. Our relationship predates Grindtime. We were cool with each other in the WRCs. You could ask Hollow to this day. I was like pretty much the first dude to co-sign him. When a lot of motherfuckers were hating back then, I recognized his talent immediately. It was like, this dude is clearly one of the best rappers in the entire competition. Y'all don't really recognize his ability because the majority of the fans that were watching that are corny-ass white kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't even know what the fuck is up. But I peeped right away that kid was retardedly nice. We've been really cool. we've worked together on numerous levels in and outside of the rap game. So it's like I thought that we had and like I think that's why my comments kind of struck a chord with him at the time, because we do have a relationship and respect for each other, and I felt like that definitely. Had I known that what I said was going to have that reaction, I wouldn't have said it. I kind of have that problem, but it's like I just keep it. I'm just a very honest person, so I speak how I feel, and sometimes it gets me into trouble.
Oh, no, I got the same problem, trust me. Sometimes.
I want to do something a little different today. I just want to cut into a caller real quick, if that's okay. 248. What's on your mind for Lush 1 and StreetStarNorbes today? 248. 347. What's on your mind for Lush 1 or StreetStarNorbes today? 347. Gotta keep it moving. 916. What's on your mind for Lush 1 or StreetStarNorbes?
Sacramento.
What's up, Sacramento?
He's not there.
We got nothing from there.
No New York, no Sacramento.
We'll do one more. 803. What's on your mind for Lush 1 or StreetStarNorbes?
Yo, what up? What's up? I got a question. I got a question for Lush. I got a question and a comment. I know I might be in the minority, but I felt like in 2009, early 2010, like when the West Coast was popping, I felt like that Grindtime was the most diverse battle league ever. Like, that was the only place in the world you would see someone like Awkwards versus T-Rex or Arsenal versus Disaster, some shit like that. You know, and I feel like, you know, it was just a good look overall for battling. You know what I mean?
No, you're not in the minority for that. You're in the reality for that.
No disrespect to you, Norbs, because I love Smack. Don't get me wrong. I was in front of the computer for hours waiting on X Factor and Rich Dollars, but at that time I felt like that was the best look for battling, to be honest with you, because URL is the same. It's like no disrespect, but like for the most part, it's like Street Rapper 1 against Street Rapper 2. You know, and don't get me wrong, classic shit, like some of my favorite battles on URL, but I just felt like I was like the best.
Hey, what about Soulcon, though? He kind of broke the mold when Soulcon was on URL. That was different.
Yeah, Soulcon, you know. Yeah, but you know, I'm just saying for the most part. But anyway,
I agree with you, player. I know exactly what you mean.
My question is, though, I hear you know, you getting back involved with Grindtime and stuff, which is a great look in general, but can we expect another mega event anytime soon?
Definitely, but before we get to that point, we really got to do a lot of rebuilding. So I'm gonna ask the fans and all the people out there to just bear with us, because in order to get to the point where we can properly throw these mega events, we got to build it up. So we're like, you know, I humbled myself. It's basically like, you know, it's like you're babysitting some kids. You step outside to smoke a blunt. You walk back inside, and the kids are throwing spaghetti at each other and fucking knock the TV over and all kinds of shit. So I'm just cleaning up the apartment. You feel me? I got to clean the apartment up, and then after that, I can smoke another blunt, and that other blunt is the mega event.
That's what I like to hear, Les.
All right, 803, thank you, man. Thanks for joining us. URL's Battle Rap Arena, Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, 1 a.m. Eastern. StreetStarNorbes and Lush 1 on the same show. Let's go to URL's official timekeeper, Big J. Yo, Big J, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? What's going on, Lush? What's going on, Norbs?
What's up, player?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Listen, I probably watched every battle on Grindtime and URL. Respect both movements, but I believe URL. Lush, this is for you.
It is.
To be honest, I really don't think you got to go in and clean anything. You've been around for a minute. I go back to the Hollow and Password days when you were there. I think you established much respect. I'm one of the few URL people that probably I'm one of your biggest fans, and I just really believe that if you put an event together, you're already established. You already made your name. You're popular. Put it that way. You're it. So if you put a big event, I think it'll be big, and you'll get it back to where it is in no time, man. I'm a big fan of yours, and you keep doing what you're doing, and it'll come back together. But I just really think you're already there. You don't gotta just go back, put a big event. Your name is already done. So just try to bring it back, because Grindtime was popping when it was going on.
I appreciate that, brother. And I'm out here doing my thing, and I keep it real perfectionistic. I like to deliver the top quality possible, so that's what I'm out here doing. And now that you got movements like URL and King of the Dot putting so many crazy events together, it inspires the fuck out of me. It makes me want to hop back at that whole biz right there. So and words from true supporters like you, from the trailheads, that makes me want to just grind extra tough. So that's the medicine right there.
All right, Lush, while we got you on the line, I mean, let's talk into other subjects. Like, I mean, how heavy are you into the battle rap scene? Are you still following it?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like shit, I try to keep up with as much as I can. Obviously, I have other interests as well. I've never been the dude that's been all 100% battle rap, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I like to have sex, too. So, but I try to pay as much attention as I can, and I'm very involved.
All right, now let's go back here with Lush 1. I just wanted to get a few callers on the line just to free up some more callers.
No problem.
Norbs?
Yo.
Yeah. What's up, man? Were you going to ask any... Wait, did you have any more questions for Lush or...
I got a shitload of questions for Lush. I'm waiting on you. You got fans calling.
No. Keep going. I just wanted to get a few callers off the line so we could get a few more on, because I know we got a lot of callers calling on. 609-509. I see you. 916. Easy. I see you. We'll get to you, but I just wanted to get a few callers out the way.
Lush, you still there?
Yes, sir. Funky fresh.
I want to get back. All right. So, you're doing, like I said, we spoke on the King of the Dutch, and I fucks with Organic heavy.
Yeah, he's heavy, bro.
And I seen you guys doing, like the somewhat almost like a Grindtime versus the King of the Dot. Is there ever going to be like a full event like that? Like, I personally want to see that, because I think your league is very similar to theirs in terms of the art you guys bring in and stuff like that.
Right.
Do you think that's a possibility?
I think that's a real strong possibility, specifically with we've been talking about doing a Fresh Coast King of the Dot collabo for a long time, and there's definitely many opportunities to get that popping. So, Organic and I work real close together, so you're going to just see a lot of stuff, crossover involvement with the two of us on a consistent basis.
Okay. Now, when do you feel as if it's going to be your next Grindtime West event?
Well, we have multiple Grindtime West events coming up. Like I've been explaining, at this point we're still kind of in the rebuilding. You know what I'm saying? Kind of just greasing all the different components. You know what I'm saying? So the machine runs in a more efficient way. So our next few events is probably going to be a lot of names that y'all might not be as familiar with, bringing some of the classic West Coast MCs into the fold and just building it up. And then hopefully by this summertime we'll be ready to start hitting the haymaker events again.
Now let me ask you a question. A lot of your fans actually from Grindtime one of their biggest complaints was basically quality control. And you got Direct here. You have Poison Pen in the East Coast. You had Cat Callis, who's not with the South anymore. You have the Georgia division. Now, my question is this: do you feel as if there was too many chiefs and not enough Indians syndrome that happened? Because who was basically controlling the content coming out? Because I know the number one complaint that fans have came to me with, and I'm not even with Grindtime, was basically the quality of battles. That there was a lot of, let's say, like it's like when you watch the NBA, you don't want to see the 12th man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You kind of want to see the best players. You know what I'm saying? And there was, do you feel as if too many Indians,
it got a little bit too spread out, I think, was one of the biggest problems. You know, like, there's definitely too many Chiefs, not enough Indian syndrome was wildly prevalent. And I think just, you know, that combined with the fact that it was so spread out, it became kind of difficult to manage. And with so much content being released, a lot of shit just got lost in the shuffle, and it got a little bit oversaturated. So I personally, towards the end of this summer, went through our channel and put about 50 to 70 videos on private, removed them from our channel, and started making started scrutinizing what we released a lot more, and have personally taken it upon myself to be the man that pulls the trigger, the straight-up sniper of quality control and grind time. If there's some whack shit and it's brought to my attention, I get rid of it instantly.
Now, do you think the fact that it's so widespread that it's going to be a lot of dissension between the organizations? Because I know Direct, he's, I guess, the founder, and the first person I heard after Direct was you and Mad Ills.
Right, and I don't think there's going to be a bunch of dissension. That's already happened. There's been wild dissension. There's been people going off on a tangent, which has led to a bunch of offshoot little fake organizations and bottom feeder battle leagues and a bunch of just out-of-pocket ass motherfuckers doing crazy shit. So that has already happened, and that's one of the reasons why I felt it necessary to step back into an active role. Like, as much as I love battling, as much as I have a passion for it, I wouldn't be as actively involved if Grind Time didn't need this much remedying. And, like, Direct is the founder of the company, but for quite some time now he's been kind of trying to step away, and you're not going to really see Direct involved in Grind Time for very much longer on an active level.
Okay, now
that's an exclusive.
Oh, speak on that. Is Direct? A lot of people saying Direct was out of here. Like, he's not doing it anymore. Can you touch on the subject and give us the update of why?
Well, what I will say is that you're going to be seeing, and I really shouldn't even be talking about this, but I am. You will be seeing an announcement from Direct very soon, and he will be the one. I don't want to blow his spot. I'm already low-key, you know, putting some attention on him by saying this right here, but I'm going to let him go into all those details. Direct and I are very close to this day and have a great deal of respect for each other. But I will say that he is looking to pursue other endeavors and has been very unhappy with the direction of Grind Time for quite some time now, and will be making an announcement as to his future regarding Grind Time very soon. Hopefully I'll get the video of this out on YouTube first.
By saying that, right, what is the structure? Like, over at the URL, we know Smack is Smack, and then we have me, Beasley, and, you know, whatever. What is the structure? Like, for the fans to say, okay, but even
if you look on paper, there's 3 CEOs. If you look on paper, like, Grind Time is an LLC, which is Limited Liability Corporation. This is all public record. You can look online and see this. There are 3 registered owners of Grind Time, 3 CEOs. Myself, Direct, and Matt Ills all own an equal portion of the company, and they're all CEOs currently.
Okay.
Now, while I got you both on the phone at the same time, let me ask this. Norbs, Lush, I mean, is there any way that we could see Grind Time and Smack work with each other?
Well, I mean,
if it makes sense and that's what the people truly want, I'm definitely open to it. And I want y'all to know that despite what people might think about our relationship, Smack and myself, or URL and myself, have worked together in the past successfully. If you watch the T-Rex versus Awkward's battle, there's a URL logo on that battle. You know, I facilitated that. Beasley and I did the contracts of that together. Norbs and I spoke on the phone several times throughout that entire process. So we've already worked together, and I would definitely be open to working with URL in multiple capacities in the future, if that makes sense, and if the people want that. And I'm, you know, hopefully.
Norbs, can I have your answer for it?
I mean, like I said, we've worked together in other situations, and we've always had the open line of communication. So I wouldn't say no. It just would have to make total sense. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we're a totally different league. What we do, and they do a little bit different depending on what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I got a lot of respect for Direct, Lushone, as well as Poison Pen and everybody else. So, I mean, I'm totally not against it.
Yeah, I totally agree. If it makes sense, we can do it.
Oh no, definitely. Now, it's kind of leaving me in limbo. The whole thing is saying, Matt, it's you, Mattos, which I haven't really seen Mattos dead neither. Right. Recently, you said Direct's possibly going to step away. If that does happen, you said you're going to take the initiative to run. Can I count on you, or the fans can count on you to bring it back? Or are you going to step in and say, okay, this is what's going to happen, regardless if Direct decides to leave? What's the next step?
Regardless of that, like I told y'all before, like, this platform and what we have, especially out here, for not just the fans of battle rap, but for the West Coast hip hop scene, for the people of Los Angeles, for the people of the Bay Area, this is a vital. Grindtime West is a vital voice, and I will not allow that to go away. So I will do whatever I have to do to get that back to a respectable position. And I really feel like I could be on some Phil Jackson shit if I could, coach another team to get them back to the championship. I would love that shit.
I mean, like I said, you definitely got my support, and I would definitely, like I said, even going out to Canada to support Organic and yourself, I'll definitely support hip-hop and the West Coast, and you guys have done a great job with that. You know what I mean?
Off top, I appreciate that love.
Like for real, I've never looked at it as competition for the simple fact that, I always looked at your battles a little bit different than ours, to be honest with you. Having said that, it's crazy that I had the same conversation with Organic, and I was like, we really don't do the same thing. Because there's so many different styles of rapping. Like even with hip hop now, you have the backpackers, you have you have you have all types of it. So to me, when URL first started, everybody was like, yo, fuck URL. There's Grindtime. A lot of people, it was a big mystery how everything really started. And in my eyes, it was never really like that. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
I totally agree. But I think a lot of people kind of thrust that, just put that whole vibe out, especially because the nature of battle rap is competitive in its essence right there. And as, you know, battle rap, hip-hop in general is so testosterone-fueled that once you combine it with battling, which is pretty much the epitome of bravado, just motherfuckers chopping each other's heads off, of course people are going to want to make all types of comparisons and competitions. And to me, like, it's crazy that people even viewed Smack as competition to Grindtime, and Smack was even looked at us a certain way because I was a fucking kid watching Smack DVDs, like, oh man, this is the shit. You know what I mean? That's what inspired me to even want to throw battles to begin with, watching Smack and Fight Club. That, you know, obviously Scribble Jam too, that's part of my history, but Smack DVDs and just how he took urban culture and really just put that shit for sale. Motherfuckers could really get a glimpse inside a whole different world with them Smack DVDs, and it wasn't just battling, it was the whole entire world of hip-hop, it was the streets, and that provided a voice for that platform, and that's really similar to what I've tried to do with the media I had available to me out here in Cali. So, you know, hats off to Smack.
And it's crazy bringing it up because I believe that there's people that grew up on Thesaurus and think Thesaurus is the best at what he does, and that's what they're going to rock, like Thesaurus. And then on the Smack side, the first logo for us would be Murder Mook. So it was two different styles of battle rap that just happened to take off, and it's basically your preference. And that's how I always felt with it. I always felt there was room for two. I didn't really care about, you know, destroying the competition or doing anything like that. And I think that was the big misconception with the fans. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
between two different styles.
At the same time, will the Thesaurus versus Murder Mook battle make sense?
I don't think so. I'll be honest.
Not necessarily.
What do you think?
I mean, like, it's not something that I am pining to see. It would be a great opportunity for, you know, it'd be cool, but I can think of cooler matches. You know what I mean? Let's keep it fun. You know what I mean? Let's keep it fun.
What do you want to see, Lush? What's on your mind? What's on Lush's mind on 2012?
Well, I mean, there's so many different things, but one thing that I think we all hope, and I'm pretty sure, you know, if Smack was on the line, he would be saying right now, is I would love to see a lot of this rap beef that we see in the industry and a lot of these conflicts from established artists. Like right now we got the whole Drake and Common situation. If we can see guys like that willing to put their nuts up, willing to put their reps up, and go at each other on a MC battling format, that's where this game really needs to go. And I think that would just be the most exciting thing to happen to hip-hop, you know, since KRS versus MC Shan.
Yeah.
Well, on the last show, we actually talked about Joe Budden's getting in there and Mickey Fax getting in there. Is that still a possibility, Norbs?
Oh, yeah. Me and Mickey spoke a bunch of times about him possibly battling. But, you know, Mickey's also focusing on music. But he's definitely interested in battling. Like, and crazy thing is he told me he'd battle a URL battler. Like, he would love to battle, I think, what he said?
He said Big T, T-Rex, and Loaded Lux.
And Loaded Lux. So, like, you know, that would be big for the simple fact of the fact that it's a legit sport and it's a legit hip hop. And sometimes I think even with the labels, and I know Lush gets this too, they try to kind of downplay a lot of the battlers. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
I think something like that would be big for the culture, just to acknowledge that this is actually real and talent can come from here.
Well, especially once you see nowadays that there's a lot of battle rappers that break the stigma where people have this misconception that battlers are not capable of making dope music. But then you see a lot of cats, you know, everybody from Math Hoffa to Soulcon, who make banging-ass tracks that have nothing to do with battling whatsoever, that people that just want to hear some dope hip-hop would listen to. And, like, that right there is these guys are getting shitted on by the industry based on decade-old misconceptions that are inaccurate, you know what I mean? So I think you're right. That would definitely help shed some light on that fact, you know what I mean? Like, plus, like, you know the way fools are. Fools are followers by nature. So if motherfuckers were able to lock down one battle like that, you start to see a lot of other guys follow suit, and it would become the new trend.
908, you're live on the air with Lush One and StreetStarNorbes. Go ahead. Rob, 908?
New Jersey, where you at?
509. You're on live.
Hey, guys. Lush, Norbs.
The
hugest fan of battle rap. I've been watching for about 3 years now. Smack and Grindtime, King of the Top, Chicago Battleground, all that stuff. Huge head. And one thing for you, Lush, I have a question for Lush and I have a question for Norbs. Lush, can you elaborate on what happened with Cap Callis and y'all? Because it's been spoken in some battles, and, you know, I found the whole thing with the Andy Milonakis channel having the 2-on-2 tournament. I really want to know what happened with that, and why is it that we don't see anything?
Well, if you notice, Cap Callis is in my same crew, Makina Muerte clique. We work really close together. Cap's my brother, you know. He's one of my closest homies. If you look on Facebook, he's listed as my brother on my Facebook page. You know, that's my boy, you know, ride or die right there. And we're still just as close as ever. So the situation with him, in fact, I'm like the main dude that brought him into the company to begin with. So him leaving was devastating for Grindtime as a whole, and myself included. It was really the moment that Cap left, like I felt like, you know, like it just wasn't as fun for me after that. I really lost I kind of lost my love for the game for a while at that point, and it really had to do with conflicts. You know, Cap and Matt Ills never really got along from way before Grindtime, and they always had a conflict. And you know, they're both, Matt Ills is a good friend of mine too. You know what I'm saying? But like, the two of them working together proved to be pretty much impossible. It was like one of those old cowboy saloons, like this town ain't big enough for the two of us, and no matter what, that shit wasn't going to work out. There was a bunch of specifics that went down, arguments over money and the YouTube channel and a bunch of shit that really just made Cap feel like there was no room to grow in the company. Matt Ills felt like Cap couldn't be trusted. Without speaking for them too much, that's essentially what I think they would say in the end. So, like, it was better for all of us if he just didn't move in. He didn't want to release the remaining battles on the channel because the conflict kind of come to a head during the whole release of the Solomon versus Inez battle. So after that, since Andy Milanakis is a good friend of ours as well, and he had a YouTube channel with a substantial amount of subscribers, Cap felt like the best course of action would be to release it through that channel. Now, at the time, I was a little bit irritated because I knew that we were losing a lot of good views, but my friendship with Cap is more important than any bitch-ass battle rap thing, so it was like, whatever.
Yeah. And your question for Norb?
Yeah, okay, Norbs, I'm a big fan of Smack. Been there since day one, T-Rex, all that in the ciphers. I just want to know why this Proving Grounds thing, why you have Young Cannon and Tay-Rock and you know, you're putting them against Proving Ground guys and putting them in that Proving Ground group, even though, you know, they've done their work and they've really proven themselves to be MCs of an upper caliber where they should be, to me, facing your K-Shines and your Sue Surfs, but you put them in that Proving Grounds catalog. Are we going to see them move up since these Motor City Mayhem, where they beat what you guys were talking about, the fresh new talent in QP Clean and B Magic in the live event? We haven't seen the film yet, but I just want to know, is there plans to move them up into the upper caliber? Because Young Cannon has not lost a battle to me yet, and so I really want to see what you can do with Young Cannon and see if he can go into the upper stages.
Now, let me clear some misconceptions you have. First off, if Math Hoffa didn't battle Calico, would Calico be considered a top-tier battler?
To me, yeah. Because he got...
Now, hold on. Before he battled Math, was he on this level? No. Now, my point is Tay-Rock battled K-Shine, so that's a big misconception you said. Tay-Rock basically gave QP a shot because he was working and was like, listen, we're going to move him up and we're going to battle him. And over here in the URL, when you do crossover, like Young Cannon decided to do what he did because he wanted to continue to put in more work without worrying about the stage. And if you notice, he wasn't in the PG. His battles were one-offs. Tay-Rock went into QP because he felt, you know what, I'm going to give him a shot, and I'm going to show these people my ability. Tay-Rock has already battled K-Shine. He's already battled Shotgun Show. I do agree, though, a lot of top-tier battlers don't do what a Math Hoffa did and go down and say, you know what, I'm going to give this guy a shot. So I do agree with that. A lot of it doesn't have to do with us. But Tay-Rock definitely is one of the top-tier dudes. And Young Cannon battled over, and I do believe Young Cannon should get a shot with somebody coming through. And there has been talks possibly him battling Sway Seba. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's all timing, and it's dealing with egos at the same time. You know what I mean?
Okay,
hey, Norbs, I think you ought to give my dude Nestle a shot one time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with it. I've spoken to Nestle before. I mean, if Nestle wants to do it and we can find an opponent that makes sense, I'm totally with it. Like,
all right, we got 30 seconds left. Go ahead, Lush. Speak what you want to speak. Go ahead, 30 seconds left.
Man, much love to the entire URL community. I hope this cleared up some misconceptions. I dropped some exclusive fucking bombs, so this needs to be on YouTube, like ASAP Rocky. Some motherfuckers can peep game. Much love to Norbs. Much love to JesseRican. You know what I'm saying? My partner's right there, keeping the West Side worldwide. And let's continue to build and keep this on the up and up, all right?
You all ready, brother?
Cool. That's what it is, man. Thanks for the opportunity to speak, and, man, I want to come back real soon.
Thanks for coming on, man.
All right, bro. Yeah.
maldito teléfono. Estoy que lo llamo y lo llamo. ¿No sabes que tenemos reservaciones?
Come on, you know what time